Okay. Well, it has been about 4 hours, and the prestige system is implemented. Let me go ahead and kick over to it, and you can see that there's a whole lot more stuff here, and the whole thing is starting to basically look like a spreadsheet at this point. But that's about what you can expect from this kind of thing. And anyway, let's jump in and take a look at the code for this and see how let's go in and see how the prestige system works. Now, before I get into a whole lot of this, I want to point out that the tweaking and tuning and all of the game balance and all of that sort of thing, still not done. Still has not been done at all. But let's take a look at how this fits together. The initial clicking on the panzergami in the middle of the screen, which is way too small. This is not what the final game is going to look like. I know I keep having to say that, but it's like, games live and die on their graphics, like it or not. So regardless of how pleased I am with this thing works, it is not even remotely ready for prime time. It needs an interface, it needs more elements, it needs a better UI. And as you can see, we have now gotten ourselves up to the first boss. And this is where you are going to see the initial implementation of the prestige matrix. You can't really see this right now, but the way the prestige matrix is implemented is as an array of special panties. Okay, so the way you want to think about this is each column is a different color of panties. You've got pink, each row is a different color. So you've got pink on the top row, blue on the next row, then green, then yellow, then purple. Just like your different pantee over here. And then each individual column is a different pattern. The first one is spots, the second one is stripes, the third is little hearts, the fourth is little stars, and the fifth is little mascots. Now, once we get through this first boss, you'll see that we got a quantity of special panties. Ooh, we got one of each. And the fun part about this is that you can spend the panties for upgrades. For example, right here, I can take the 5 panties that I've got, and I can make a pink ring out of them. Or I can keep going and just like hold on to those, because as we move along through this, each boss drops some special panties. So as you can probably guess, by the time we get through 5 bosses, we'll have filled each of these 5 rows. So here we are on our second. Here's the second boss. I need to improve my clicking so I can get through these faster. And you can see that now I've gone through and I've got a whole bunch of blue special panties. Wow, I'm doing well here. It's coming across really well spread. Now you can see with the green one, I didn't get panties in all 5 rows. And when I get down here to the 4th one, now that I'm working on yellow panties, again, I didn't get all 5 types of panties. But I did get all 5 types there. Now, what I have in this particular situation, as you collect the panties, okay, at this point I have the option, depending on how I want to go, I can build myself some upgrades by purchasing the pink ring, the blue ring, or the purple ring, or I can collect a gem. You see here we've now got a gems field, and if I go, yeah, give me the gem for these panties over here. Let me get the mascot panties collected. Now that gives me 1 down here, this bottom row is rainbow panties. So I've got one rainbow mascot panty. And now I'll add in one rainbow star panty and one rainbow heart panty. And once I get through this yandere, now I've got some more stuff over here under pink. I've got a blue ring now. Well, I can get a blue ring. I don't have to get a blue ring, but I can. Now I can get a gem over here for the spotted panties. I can get rainbow spotted panties. And you can see that it's removing the panties from the matrix as I go. But once I've purchased all 5 columns, and this should get me what I need. Once I've got all 5 columns filled, now I can make, using all 5 of these, I can make a pair of gold panties. And once I've got a pair of gold panties, I can now prestige. Now you can see that as I created each of these, I got 1 gem for each set of rainbow panties that I created. So that's the premium currency, and as you go through, you can collect the premium currency just by going through the system normally. Yeah, this is not... Now, after I've created all of these rainbow panties, I can create more gold panties. And when I prestige, I will get... Now, you can see here, I've got 4 rainbow panties over here, and I've got 3 gold panties over here. For each pair of gold panties I've made, I have 5 gems. And for each pair of rainbow panties I've made, I have 1 gem. And when I prestige, I will get 10 gems for each pair of gold panties that I've got. And it will reset a bunch of stuff, and you'll see that it doesn't reset everything. Like right now I'm going to go through and I'm going to get myself some rings, and you'll see that when I prestige, it doesn't reset my rings. It resets all of my potions, but it doesn't reset my rings. It resets the level, the enemy, and all of this stuff over here, but it doesn't reset my ring power-ups. It resets all of my price configs back where they were. All of my potions go back down to 0, but I keep my physical and spirit gloves, and everything's wiped out of the prestige matrix. But as you can see, I'm still working my way through. I've got a decent amount of stuff, and this makes it easier for me to continue at this point. And you see that now I've got the ability to jump in, and I can grab this upgrade. I can grab another upgrade. And I'm going to have some fancy, cool graphics for this eventually. And you can see that it's kicking through, but as I'm buying these, it's preventing me from getting the gems for making rainbow panties. Yeah, this definitely needs some work. So 7, I can go ahead and prestige. And you can see that my prestige bonus is going up. It's adding up like the total panties that I've collected on top of this. So, so we have a working prestige system in here. And you can see that these rings kind of add up, and they give you these bonuses, and they let you click through reasonably quickly. So, yeah. Anyway, let's go and take a look at how this is implemented in the code. We've spent about 10 minutes fucking around. Now, the progression in this is just absolutely retarded. Okay, the progression is just stupid. I need to set up something. I need to tweak the values and tweak the numbers and mess around with things a little bit. But if you recall, in the last episode of this, we had 780. We had 780 lines, and now we've got 1,563. So it's about twice as much code at this point. But some of it's because it brute forces some stuff. Now, the major thing that we've got going on is that we've added, as you can probably tell just by looking at the screen, we've added another 37, actually 38. 38? No, 39. We've added 39 more controls. So obviously those need to be handled with, there needs to be a counter that goes in them, and there needs to be a variable that holds them. And that's just a question of declaring those and going through and pulling them off of the matrix here. And you can see here we've got all of these, the pink spot control, pink stripe control, and all of these. And they reference the colors of everything, but they don't actually display anything in the interface yet. And we've got all of our buttons, and we've got all of our various events mapped. You can see over here on pressed. You can see that each of these has something mapped, and you can see that the line edits are, well, the line edits aren't actually hooked up to a notification, but the line edits are hooked up to be edited. Now, the important thing is to come down here and take a look at how the prestige works, okay? And the first thing is that in the recalc, did we do anything in the recalc? No, we didn't have to do anything in the recalc. Oh, wait, yeah, we did. The gold panty total, we're adding 1% to both click amounts for each pair of gold panties you use. So you get this kind of bonus percentage to all of the damage that you do, whether it's the spirit damage or the click damage. So that gets added in there. And remember, you have to add 1 to a percentage so it actually multiplies out to something. You don't want to decrease it down to 0. That's a mistake that I've made way too many times to admit. And then here we've got the do prestige. We take the current gold panty total and we add in the gold panty count. Then we add 10 gems for each pair of gold panties that we've made. And then we do a prestige reset. Then we recalculate, redisplay, and pull up a new enemy. Now in the prestige reset, all we've done here is I've pulled everything out of the defaults that I want reset on prestige, but in defaults, I call prestige reset, so we turn down all of the counts, we pull out all of the potions, we reset our base health, the base value, all of that sort of thing. And then when we get down to defaults, this is where we take away your right and left glove, we turn off that you've already bought them, we take away all of your rings, take away the current gems when we reset your gold panty total to 0. Because that, down in defaults, that's like starting a brand new game. It's throwing everything out. And then in redisplay, we've got everything just filled in there. And I think we've got... yeah, all of this is all just, yeah. This is all just bare. It's in here. All of the controls, we set the text to the spot count, the stripe count, heart count, star count, mouse count, all of that. We set all of those things together, and then we scan the prestige matrix, which is the same thing as scanning the store, but when we scan the prestige matrix, we enable and disable the controls for making rings based on whether we have something in every blank there. This is all brute forced. It's not the best way to do this. Theoretically, you should use arrays, but brute force works, so fuck it. So that's what I did. And then we just do that for all of the buttons there. And then down here in kill enemy, we have a do special pantsu function. And the Do Special Pantsu calls some additional stuff that we'll take a look at here. We've got smallest special and random special. Now, the smallest special basically finds the smallest counter in the row. So you're guaranteed, if you've got a 0 somewhere in the row, you're gonna mark that up. And then the randoms, they just grab something at random. They don't bother looking for anything. And we've created a new random number generator all the way up at the beginning of the class to account for this. So we're not creating a brand new random number generator every time, because that doesn't work too well. It's pseudo-random. So as we go through here, when we come down to Do Special Pantsu, you find that we do a random special. Depending on what our current level is, we determine what color we're supposed to be, and if we're supposed to be pink, blue, green, yellow, whatever. We do 3 random specials, and then we do the 2 smallest. And we do the 2 smallest at the end so that things scatter out reasonably well, and it doesn't obviously look like we're just adding to your lowest totals. But we've put that in there. We've put that in to make sure that after 3 bosses in a particular color, you're guaranteed to have enough Pantsu to do either a ring for that color or to prestige in general. The idea there is that you make sure that there's some progression and you don't just have this pathological situation where somebody can't ever get spotted panties or anything like that. And that's all pretty much it. And it's all just when we have when you press the make ring buttons, then that decrements everything. This is all brute force. And it's the same thing with the rainbow stuff. The rainbow stuff, brute force. And you can see that we increment the current gems, recalc and redisplay. It's all the same basic stuff that we've seen before. And down here at the end, we have on prestige now pressed, if the gold panty count is greater than 1, then we do prestige. And then we recalc and we redisplay. And it's the same with gold panty make. We check the rainbow counts and all of that. And that's it. That's essentially how it works. Now, the thing that I'm concerned with on this, when I look at it, obviously progression is fucked. I mean, that's simple. This progression is fucked. It's just the enemy doesn't scale up fast enough. The level doesn't scale up fast enough. We want to do something. You know what? Let's do 1.12 and 1.15, and we'll see how that works. Actually, let's jack the scale level down. Yeah, let's take that up. And we'll take scale value down to 1.07. Let's try that. See how that scopes out. Yeah, we are now getting some okay, this is now taking long enough that it feels like I actually have to do something to beat this boss. Okay, yeah. We can do a pink ring. The pink ring actually feels like it'd be a good upgrade at this point. So we'll put that in. Yeah, that works out pretty well, actually. Oh, shit. This thing is going to take forever. This is feeling much better in terms of progression. I feel like I'm making some progress. But I also feel like it's kind of a slog. Okay, we are starting to get somewhere. All right. I'm getting good luck here. Okay, we are getting somewhere on this. Yeah. Fire that up. I cannot get a yellow ring. But this actually feels like we're getting some decent progression here. Can get a purple ring. I'm improving my click. This feels better in terms of progression. Yeah, I'm going to have to come up with some kind of large number solution on this. Okay. We are now doing better on the automatic. Okay, and I'm starting to get to a point where all right, we are getting somewhere now. Now the blue ring, I should definitely get a blue ring option on this. There we go. So we can now come across. We can make some gold pennies. And having made some gold pennies, I am now prestige, and we can see what happens here? Bam. Okay. Yeah, this feels much better. This feels a whole lot better. Except it's also reset the enemy scale and level and value and all of that. That did feel like better progression on that. So what we were looking at there was 1.07. 0.15 and 1.1, right? Yeah, I think that was it. And you can see the prestige bonus, I've got a 1% prestige bonus. That's not much. Okay, so let's go in here and set that to 1.1. Set that to 1.15. Set this to 1.07. And then we'll go over and we'll set it in the scale level is 1.15, scale mob is 1.1, scale value is 1.07. Okay, and we'll now jump down here, scale level. All right, and that'll be that, and that's what we need to have it start like that and end up that way every time we restart. Okay, that's so anyway, that's the prestige matrix. It's more complex than most prestige systems, but I like the way that you can choose to screw your prestige by making upgrades that persist across the prestige. That's that kind of dilemma. I like that from an economic standpoint. And anyway, that's what I wanted to talk to you about, and just kind of show that off and go. We actually have, this is a playable game. This game can actually be fun, and I'm going to be messing around with it and asking myself a number of questions like, is this fun? How fun is it? Can I make it more fun? And I'm going to mess around with pricing configurations, and I'm also going to do a lot, and I mean a lot, of looking at other games that are similar to this and asking, how do they tweak and tune their stuff? Because I can look at something and I can go, ooh, this feels really good. And if that feels really good, well, maybe I should be doing the same kind of thing in my game. And if it doesn't feel really good, maybe I should avoid that. Maybe I should figure out what it is. Always, always, always look at the field and figure out how it relates to what you're doing. I'm going to go ahead and save that. And I've done a full 8-hour day of development on this, so I am now going to stop, and I'm going to go try and find a decent horror movie. If you know any decent horror movies that are on Netflix, Hulu, or Disney Plus, yeah, like there's any good horror on Disney Plus or HBO Max, leave a comment. Tell me what you think is good to watch around this holiday season.